myself Swimpy Pahuja, assistant professor in CSE department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today we will be discussing a topic on sorting and we will be discussing three concepts here: insertion sort, selection sort as well as the bubble sort. So these are the contents that we will be following. First one is introduction to sorting, then the insertion sort, then selection sort and finally the bubble sort. So first of all, what is sorting? Sorting takes an unordered collection and it makes it an ordered one. So something which is not ordered, and we can convert that thing into an order one, like we can arrange it in ascending or descending order by applying the sorting algorithm straightforward. So like here in this example, we are having this array, and in this array we are having 6 to 7 number of elements, and here this array is arranged in terms final output of this array by applying the sorting algorithm will be this, which is the sorted which is in sorted manner. So that is what we call sorting algorithm. So few definitions are there before going to the concepts of sorting. First one is internal sort, then we have external sort, and finally the in place sort. So internal sort is when we are sorting the data and that data is going to be sorted in the main memory of a computer system. External sort is that some of the data might be sorted in some external device, in some slower device, and in place sorting is when we are not requiring any extra space in order to sort that particular data. So that is in place sorting. So first of all, insertion sort. What is insertion sort? It is an in place sorting algorithm. That means we don't require any auxiliary data structure, any extra memory space in order to sort the elements by using this type of sorting algorithm. Then the element which is to be inserted in this sublist, it has to find its appropriate place and then it can be inserted there. So this is why we call the insertion sort. So first of all, I will be finding that where the element needs to be inserted, and then I will be inserting that particular element. The algorithm is not suitable for large data sets. This is the main limitation of this insertion sort algorithm. And because why it is not suitable, because its average as well as the worst case complexity, they are of big of n square, where this n includes the number of items or the total number of elements that we are going to sort. Now let us proceed with an example how actually this insertion sort works. So as I said, what I will do, I will just find out take the first element and I will find out the appropriate position or the actual position where this element needs to be placed. Like I am given with this particular array, fine. So in this particular array we will take the very first element. Now because if I take this very first element, there is nothing to compare here, fine. So we will start with the second element always while applying this insertion sort algorithm. So we will start with this second element and we will compare this second element with the very first element, and we will find out that this 3 in order to arrange this in increasing order, this 3 needs to be placed before 4, fine. So we got its appropriate position. So what we will do, we will swap out both these and we will get this thing that 3 will come here and 4 will come here. Then in the next step we will move one step forward, like if I have taken this value inside k and k is equal to 1, fine. So this k is equal to 1 value is compared, that was the value 3, that was compared with its previous value, that is k equal to k minus 1 value, fine. So when we will proceed with this particular step, so here the k is equal to 2. So this second positional value is now compared with first positional value and then it is compared with the previous positional value in order to find out that where this 2 should come and what is the appropriate position where this 2 should be placed, fine. So if I will compare with this 2 with 3 and then with this 2 with 4, so I will find out that this 2 is smaller than both 3 and 4. So it should be placed before before these 2, 3 and 4. So now this 2 is placed over here at this particular position and we got this scenario. Now again we will move forward. So this is k equal to 3, so we are moving to this particular position, fine. And now I'll compare this 10, that whether where this 10 should come, and compare with these elements, fine. So I can see that 10 is already at its place, so I'll move forward, I'll check for next element, that is 12, fine. So again I will see that 12 is already at its place as compared to the left elements. Then we'll move forward, then we'll check for this 1. Now we can see that this 1 is smaller element as compared to 12, it is smaller as compared to 10, it is smaller as compared to 4, then it is smaller as compared to 3, and so on with 2. Now 1 will be placed at the very first position. So 1 will come at this particular position. Then we'll move forward, then we'll check for 5, fine. So I'll check that 5 is smaller than 12, it is smaller than 10, but it is greater than 4. So that means 5 should be placed between 4 and 10. Fine, so 5 will come at its position. Similarly, we can go with 6, fine. So 6 will be placed at its position. So finally, here when we have reached to the end of the array, we have compared every element. So here we will stop, because here we got this particular array which is sorted array now. So moving forward, now how the algorithm works. So another example is shown over here. What actually is done is we are dividing our array into 2 sub arrays, fine. So like this was my left sub array, and I am comparing this very first element which I am taking with the all the elements of this left sub array, fine. And whatever is sorted is coming to the left side, and whatever is not sorted is towards the right side. So I can say my left sub array is a sorted array and my right sub array is unsorted array. So proceeding with this example, how it is working, that we are having as I already said, we will not compare with the first element, so I'll leave this first position, first value, that is 5. Then I'll check out for the second value, that is 2. So I'll compare this 2 with 5, and this is my sorted array here, and this is the unsorted values, fine. So what I will do, I will compare this 2 with my sorted values. So this 2 will be compared with the sorted values, and then we'll check that 2 should come before 5. So here again I have the sorted values, fine. Similarly, we'll proceed with next element in the unsorted array. This 4 will be compared. So this 4 will be compared, and this 4 will come between 2 and 5. Similarly, we'll our sorted array will go on increasing, and our unsorted array will go on decreasing in this manner, and by the end of this we will be able to sort the complete elements using the insertion sort method. So this is another way by which we can understand, like at one place we will be having sorted values, at another place we will be having unsorted values. The sorted values will go on increasing, the unsorted values will go on decreasing. At one time when unsorted values becomes equal to 0, that means we have sorted the complete list. So same thing is shown here. Now what is the algorithm? So as I already said, we are not proceeding with the very first element, we are not talking with the very first element. So very first element, because it is not compared, and because we are going to make it with array. So inside the array, if this is, because array numbering start with 0, so if this is a 0 position in the array, so I will place in the very first step in this 0 position the value that is -infinity, fine. And now I will start my comparisons, and this comparisons are starting from the value of k equal to 2. Why it is starting from k equal to 2? Because at this first position, whatever the value is, fine, so there is only one value and we cannot compare this value. So we are starting our comparison with this second positional value, fine. As we have seen in this previous example also, here I started my comparison with the value 3, I skipped the value 4. Fine. So the number of comparisons, they are starting with this value of k equal to 2, and this number of comparisons, they will keep on going for k 2 to n, that is the last positional value of this array. So now what we will do, we will place the we will have one more variable which is called temporary variable, and we will place the value of this second position. Let's say, okay, let's assume there are some values here. Let's say I have 3 here, I have 5 here, fine, then 7, 6, 12 and 18. Fine, I have these values here. So now what I am going to do is, the value which is present at this second position, this value will be stored in a variable named as temporary variable. So I have placed this value 5 in this temporary variable, and then I have taken one more variable which is called PTR variable, and this variable will be having the value equal to k minus 1, because I need to compare this value with the previous value. Fine. So that's why the k minus 1 value is what? K is 2. So k minus 1 is 1. So this 1 value is placed in this PTR. And we'll keep on repeating the steps. Why the repetition is done? Because you have to compare this value with this value also. And let's say we are comparing, suppose, value 6. So 6 should be compared with 7 also, it should be compared with 5 also, it should be compared with 3 also. Fine. So in this manner we'll keep on proceeding. So that's why we'll keep on repeating, we'll keep on checking whether this value 5 is less than the previous value. If it is less than the previous value, and if it is, we'll keep on decrementing the value of PTR in order to do these comparisons. And in the end, when we will come out of this particular loop, in the end we will place whatever is there in temporary variable, we will place that value into the value of PTR plus 1. So wherever we'll stop the comparisons. So if we'll come out of the loop, we'll get the appropriate position where this particular value 5 needs to be placed. So this is how the insertion sort works. Now complexity analysis here, as we already know that we have three kinds of analysis: worst case, average case, as well as the best case. Worst case is then if we are having maximum number of comparisons, like in worst case analysis, first your first element is placed at its appropriate position, then in next part second element is placed at its appropriate position, and so on. So when we will solve this, we will get this particular equation. Fine. And solving this equation is n square minus n by 2. So it is n square by 2 minus n by 2. Fine. So we always ignore the constant values. So this 2 will be ignored. So we are left with n square minus n, and out of them the highest value is n square. So that's why we got the complexity big of n square over here. In average case analysis, average case means the number of comparisons are reduced to half. So in first case, like we have to make half number of comparisons, then in second we have to make 2 by 2 number of comparisons, and it will go on till the total number of values present in my array. Fine. So again I will solve this. This is n square by 4 minus n by 4. 4 is again constant which can be ignored, and here again we will get the complexity that is big of n square. In case of best case, we have the complexity that is big of n in insertion sort, which is like we are able to sort the elements with the single number of comparisons. Then next is selection sort. This selection sort is an in-place sorting algorithm, and the main idea here is, first we will find out the smallest element in the array, and then we will exchange it with the element present in the very first position, and then we will find out the second smallest, and then we will again exchange it, then third smallest, and so on. So this will keep on going till you are able to sort the complete array. So this is the main idea behind the selection sort algorithm. The disadvantage of selection sort is that the running time will depend on the amount of order in the file, that how much elements are present. So based on that, the running time will be calculated over here. Let's take an example. So we are having this array having 7 elements, and this array needs to be sorted by applying the selection sort algorithm. Now as I already said, in the array first we will calculate the smallest value. So here I will calculate the smallest value in the array. So that smallest value is this 1. Fine. So this 1 is my smallest value. So what I will do, I will place this smallest value at the very first position in this array. Fine. So I'll exchange them. I will exchange this 1 as well as 8, and I'll get this particular array. Fine. So now again the next step, I'll find out the next smallest value. So next smallest value here is 2, and then again I will exchange this value 2 with the second position in the array, like this 2 and this 4, they will be exchanged. So I'll get this array now after exchanging. Then again finding the next smallest element in this array is 3. So this 3 will be exchanged with the third most position here, that is 6. So I'll get this particular array. Then again finding the next smallest element, we get 4. So we will get this particular array after exchange. Then next one, that is 6. Then after exchange we will get this particular array, and then next highest, that is next smallest, that is 8. So we will get again the final array, this one. So now we have finished with the total number of comparisons. So this will be the final array that we'll get after applying the selection sort algorithm. So now what the algorithm says. First, as I said, we have to find out the smallest value. So for that I have named the algorithm, that is min. So this min is representing that this particular algorithm is finding the smallest value inside the array. So now in order to find the smallest value, what we will do, we will take one variable. So this min is actually taken as a variable inside the algorithm, and what we will do, we will place the value from that array into this min. Their min we need to calculate. So in order to calculate this min value, we have to find out the smallest value. So how we'll find that smallest value? We will take the very first value of this array, whatever is there. Let's say like here we have 30, here we have 12, then we have 2, then we have, let's say let's say we have 40. Fine. So here in this particular array, what I will do, I will just check for the value of k, and the value of k here is 1. So at 1 value I have the value this 30. Fine. So I will place this value 30 here in this min in order to find out the minimum value. So when I place this value 30, then I will keep on comparing for all the values till this array n. So I'll keep on comparing with that whether this 30 is greater as compared to the value present over here. Fine. So this 30 is greater than 12. So obviously 12 is smallest, so min should contain the smallest value. So now I'll update this min, and now this min will contain the smallest value 12. Fine. Then again I'll move this k, I'll increment the value of k to the next value, like here k plus 2 value will come. So for k plus 2, this 2 is again smaller than the value of min, that is 12. So I'll again cancel out this and I'll place 2 over here. Then the next value 40 will be compared. Now 40 is greater than 2. So that means min is containing now the smallest value out of this complete array. Fine. So I am able to calculate using this algorithm the smallest value. Then after calculating the smallest value, we'll apply this selection sort algorithm, in which we will again start with the array starting from the very first position, fine, to the total number of elements in this array. Then we will call this function in order to find out the minimum value, which I found in this example as 2, fine. And then when you got this minimum value, then what you have to do is you have to just exchange it with the very first value, fine. So here this code is just the code for swapping, where we have taken the temporary variable. So this temporary variable is storing actually the value of this k, that is this temporary variable is storing the value 30, fine. Then ak is equal to a loc. So a loc here is what? The location of minimum value which we got over here, fine. So like this was like k equal to 1, this was 2, this is 3. So loc is containing the value 2, fine. So a2 value is 2 and ak is 30. So at ak position, what I will do, I will place 30. So sorry, at ak position I will place the value of a2, so which is 2. So I will get here the value 2, fine. And then at a loc position was this position. So at this position I have to place the value of this temp, which is 30. So here I will place 30 and here I will place 2, and in this way this code will be used to exchange these values, Fine. So, we will keep on doing this for all the values, and in this way we will be able to sort the complete array. Complexity analysis involves like at very first time we will be we are doing n minus 1 number of comparisons, then in second step we are going to do n minus 2, and so on. The number of comparisons will proceed and they will reduce to 1 at the very last step, and then we can again find out the complexity of this is big O of n square. In average case the number of comparisons will be reduced to half, and here we again got the complexity of big O of n square, because 2 is a constant, so we can just ignore it. And then best case analysis is again same in case of selection sort, that is big O of n square. Moving to next algorithm, that is bubble sort, which is easiest sorting algorithm to implement, and it behaves like air bubbles which are formed over a form, and it is a kind of in place sorting algorithm which does not requires any extra space while sorting. So, let us see the example. Here the array is given, fine. So, we have to apply the bubble sort here. So, here we are having the number of passes. So, number of passes are actually n minus 1. So, my array is containing here 5 elements. So, I will have 4 number of passes here. So, we have pass 1. So, in first pass we have we will just compare. How we will compare? We will compare the very first value with the second value, and we will check out that whether first value is greater as compared to the second value. If it is greater, then we have to perform the swapping. Fine. So, this was my actual array. I have compared the first value with the second value, and because the first value was greater, so I have performed the swapping here and I got this particular array in the very first step. Then in second step we have pass equal to 1, and here again we will move 6 and 11. So, we will move further by 1 place, and I will compare these two values. Then I will check that whether this value 6 is greater as compared to 11. No. So, no swapping is required here. So this is at its actual position. So we don't want to do any swapping over here. So, that means that the 6 is also at its actual position. So, second pass is finished here, pass 1. Then in pass 1 again we will move forward, fine. So, from we will compare this 11 and 7, fine, and again I will check that whether 11 is greater than 7, yes. So, we will swap these two. So, I will got this array. Then again I will move forward in the same pass, fine, and this 11 and 5 are compared. So, they will be swapped again and I will get this array. Now, if I see this 11 has bubbled up to its actual position, the largest element has reached to the last position, fine. So, this is what we call bubbling. So, we are moving from very first position and we are bubbling up to the last position. So, first pass finished over here. Now, we will proceed with the second pass. So, in second pass what I will do, I will again check whether this 2 and 6 is there any number of comparisons the swapping needs to be done. No, because 2 is already less than 6. Then 6 and 5. Now, here I need to do the swapping, fine. So, if I see here this swapping, this needs to be done in the third pass, because my second largest value has already bubbled up to its position, fine. So, in some examples you need to perform the complete second pass also, but here in this example we do not need to perform the second pass again, because we have already reached this 7 the second largest value at its position. So, in cases where it is not there, then you have to run the complete second pass also, fine. So, now moving to the third pass. In the third pass again I will compare 2 and 6, no bubbling, no swapping. Then 6 and 5. So, here the swapping needs to be done. So, 5 and 6 will be swapped here. So, this swapping is done, fine. Then again 6 and 7. So, here the number of comparisons are not to be done with this 7 and 11. Only this much comparisons needs to be done, because they are already at its original position, fine. So, number of comparisons are also reducing over here. So, here this we will get. So, 6 has reached to its position. So, now I will do comparison up to this point only, fine. So, if I can see this 2 is already 2 and 5, they are already at its original position. So, so number of passes, pass 4 is also done, array is sorted. So algorithm here is that we are moving for k equal to n minus 1. This n minus 1 is denoting the number of passes. Like if in my previous example I was having how many elements, 5 elements, so 4 number of passes are required. So n minus 1 passes are required. So we can find out that how many passes are required by checking the value present in the array. Then setting this value, a new value ptr equal to 1, and here this loop we are checking is for n minus k. That means how many comparisons needs to be done in each pass. Like in first case I have done pass 1, fine, then I was doing some comparisons, fine. So how many comparisons needs to be done in this pass before I proceed to pass 2, fine. So this number of comparisons, they are found by this value, that is n minus k. So if you are moving with the number 1 pass, so how many comparisons you are doing? N minus 1 comparisons. If you are and in pass 2, how many comparisons we are going to do? N minus 2 comparisons. If we are in pass 3, then we are going to do n minus 3 comparisons. So total number of comparisons are also reducing as the largest element is bubbling up, fine. And what comparisons needs to be done? You need to just check out that whether first element is larger as compared to the second element. If it is larger, then you are just interchanging it by applying the simple swapping code, fine. So this is the complete bubble sort algorithm. In terms of complexity analysis, we will be having a worst case analysis, because in the very first step the number of comparisons, they are reduced to n minus 1, as I told you in pass 1. In pass 2 we have to do n minus 2 comparisons, and so on. The number of comparisons will reduce to 1, fine. So when I will just solve it, I will get the complexity big O of n square again. In average case analysis, the number of comparisons are reduced to half, so n minus 1 by 2, then n minus 2 by 2 in pass 2, and so on, fine. And when you will solve this, because here this is n square by 4 minus n by 4, 4 is again a constant which we can ignore. So here again you will get the complexity of big O of n square. And best case analysis for this is again big O of n, because the total number of comparisons in case of best case are minimum. So these are the references that I followed, and thank you.